Welcome to the All Around Joe podcast, where we optimize your human performance from my personal experience as an athlete, coach, and all-around self-improvement junkie. On this edition of the All Around Joe podcast, I am coming to you from Kauai, the island in Hawaii, where I'm going to be talking about staying focused during the holidays. I know this can be hard. I know that there are a lot of influences around us right now, potentially a lot of things pulling at us, a lot of people that are not necessarily making the best choices. So I wanted to nip this one in the bud and hopefully give you some strategies and ways that you can conquer these holidays to the best of your ability. And as always, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. You can email me, joe@allaroundjoe.com, or you can put the questions down in the comments section below if you're watching this on YouTube or wherever you're consuming this material. Also, I should mention, if you guys like this podcast, if you like this video, please consider giving me a thumbs up, and also consider, if you really like it, subscribing to the channel. Every thumbs up, every comment, every subscriber, it helps me to get momentum, to build momentum for this channel, for getting motivated to give you this content, because as of right now, I'm running the Get Better project. So I do a lot of coaching, a lot of workout writing, a lot of things to help people, but I want to be able to also put this out there. But it is an extra thing. So if I get those comments, if I get those people like yourself that are giving me the thumbs up, it totally motivates me to stay motivated and continue producing this content that I hope is helping you out. So thumbs up and subscribes and even shares would be super appreciated. But let's jump right into the content today. If you've been listening to this podcast for any period of time, you've probably heard me talk about this theory that you are the 5 people you spend the most time around. And that is something that really comes into play even more so in this time of year when we're going through the holidays and you have a whole bunch of people that are not necessarily making the best decisions of their lives. Think about the Thanksgiving holiday that we recently had, where you probably went through having a whole bunch of family members that were drinking too much, eating too much. And I'm not necessarily saying not to do that, but I think that this time in between the Thanksgiving holiday and the Christmas or New Year's holiday, there's a lot of parties that are coming up. There's a lot of people that are making consistent bad choices. I have nothing wrong with people making sure that they're keeping their good positive routines going and then having, a blowout Thanksgiving dinner or whatever, a blowout Christmas dinner, or a full day of eating, but not every single day, not just stacking those things upon each other. And I'm not telling you not to go to these parties and things, but I am telling you to stick to your guns and make sure that you're making the best decisions possible. So these people that you're hanging around are going to have the biggest influence on you. So if you're going to work parties or family events or whatnot, if you can cling to those people that have these similar goals as you, or that want to work out, that want to avoid alcohol, that want to eat healthy, even if you know that you're going to go to these parties and things and you're going to, indulge on your favorite pie or have, a whole bunch of calories or whatnot, you can mitigate that. And if you're hanging around the people that are also trying to mitigate that, you're going to have a better season or a better, more successful holiday season as a whole than if you're hanging around the people that are trying to get wasted, that are being bad influences on you, that are eating way too many calories, that don't go to the gym, that don't drink enough water. All of these things will play into how well you do when it comes to being in these stressful situations. So pick and choose, be very mindful, cognizant of those people and situations that you're putting yourselves into, and stick to your goals. It also is going to help if you have those goals or strategies or plans, as we're going to talk about them today. If you have no plan or no strategy, then you cannot help but not know where you're going, right? An example or a thought that I have as I'm thinking about this is, imagine that you're leaving on a ship or a boat or whatever hopefully a ship, from the East Coast, let's say New York, or you're headed to Europe. If you don't have a plan for the route that you're going to take and you just get in that boat or ship and you just head off somewhere, there's a chance that you'll get to your destination. You definitely are not going to get there the fastest that you possibly can. And there's a high probability that you're going to end up someplace completely different. And it is the same thing for any of these spots in your life that you want to improve. If you don't have a plan for eating, you're in trouble. If you don't have a plan for exercising, who knows if you're going to exercise? If you don't have a plan for relationships, for how you're going to navigate these work events, all of this stuff, you should have a thoughtful plan in place. Now, I'm not talking about, really getting down into the nitty gritties. That's something like my job as a coach for exercise and nutrition. But you should have a general plan for how you want all of these things to go, like an A to B, right? I want to have this job, move up the ranks, whatever, have a family, have kids, have a plan for it. Don't just be willy-nilly and what happens. That is not a solid plan for success. That's a plan for failure. So you have to have a plan or a strategy for each one of these things. And when things get stressful and hard, if you have that plan in place to, exercise 5 days a week, to eat healthy and only splurge, once a week, or however you're going to set up that plan, you are going to be way more successful. And it's not that you have to be perfect. That's the thing. We're not talking about setting up plans so that you're perfect. We're talking about setting up plans so that you know when you're a little bit off, right? Like a GPS navigator, the GPS doesn't go straight, even though you may think that it does. It is getting constantly pinged and adjustment to where you're going, right? If you think about the auto driving cars, the margin of error, you may think that you're going straight down the road, but the margin of error is them constantly making these little corrections. And that's what your plan is as well for having a successful holiday season and not, gaining the 10 pounds or whatever that you usually do and getting to January without having to set a New Year's resolution because you're already rocking it and you already have everything in place and you're just following that plan. I have a story for you about a good buddy of mine named Gabe. Gabe is a guy that I met in college, and he is the most planned, structured guy that I have ever met, at least from a young age. When I first met Gabe, he was awesome, successful, motivational, nice person, really smart, athletic. He had all these things going for him. But the one thing that I think he had going for him more than anything else is he had a plan before any of us ever did, or at least way earlier, right? Because he was, well, for example, when I was in college, my plan was just to get through college and then see what happens next. He had this plan. I'm going to go to college. I'm going to go to pre-PT school. I'm going to go to PT school. I'm going to start at my parents' PT company. I'm going to run the company. I'm going to marry my girlfriend. I'm going to have 2 kids. I'm going to live, in northern part of San Diego, and so on and so forth. And he had all these things mapped out. And I remember early on, like, man, he's got this thing. And he told me, this is what I'm going to do. And he has stuck to that plan. Now, there were times I'm sure that he went, wavering a little bit, but because he had that plan, when he did waver, it felt unright and he knew what the plan was, so he just hopped right back into that plan. That is as simple as it is. You need to sit down, you need to set some goals or things that you want to achieve, like dreams that you want. And they don't have to be, you don't have to think, oh, well, I want to have $1 million or I want to, be a billionaire or whatever. It can be that, but it doesn't have to be something that you're like, man, I don't know how to do it. It can be as simple as like, I want to maintain my weight and exercise every day. If you have actionable parts of these plans, it's way easier to achieve them. Like, I'm going to, eat my macros every single day. By plugging them into MyFitnessPal. I'm going to exercise, Get Better Project, level 1 through 3 workouts 5 days a week. I'm going to do accessory stuff 2 days a week. I'm going to drink 100 ounces of water every single day. I'm going to go to my job every single day. I'm going to put maximum effort into all of these things that I do. So these are all parts of your plan that if you follow them, you're going to be much more successful because it's following this route, this plan, not just leaving things up to chance. So when you're trying to figure out what your plan or dream or goals are, you just need to sit down and come up with some things that feel nice. So sit down with a piece of paper, grab your computer, grab your phone, just start writing things down that you would like to achieve. And don't let your mind get in the way of this. Just be whatever, write it down, and then start thinking about what it's going to take to achieve that. And it could be something that's going to take a long time, or it could be something you can do today, drink 100 ounces of water. You can start that right now, and you can start just keeping track of it today and get that done. Buy 100 rental properties. That's probably not going to happen today. That could take, 10 or 20 years to accomplish that, that goal. But either way, in order to start, you need to have some ideas of what you want to accomplish. And that can be for this month, this coming up here. That could be for the next few years. You can really play with that, but you need to start playing with it just to get started. And then what we're going to do is you need to figure out somebody that's done it before you and then follow their strategies or their plans or their actions that they have taken. And this can be really easy as well. And something that you might find out is that once you start, like for example, let's say you decide, oh, I want to flip real estate, or I want to make it to the CrossFit Games. Real estate, let's say you get into it and you're like, man, I don't like talking on the phone, but it ended up being a whole bunch of cold calls. So I need to find a different strategy because my life is worse because of that. So I either need to figure out someone else that did the same without talking, doing all the sales on the phone, because that's just not for me. And same way with, making it to the CrossFit Games. You could get into the training program that this certain person used and be like, man, that's just way too hard. Either I'm getting injured or it's just too much time or I don't enjoy it or whatnot. You can go find another person's path and try that as well. Or maybe it turns out that all these paths that you try are not coherent with what the actual goal is, right? Like, why did you want to be a successful real estate investor and make it to the CrossFit Games? Maybe it was just something that you thought. Maybe it was something like, I want to be as healthy as possible, or I want to, run a marathon or something like this. And you could try these different options in order to see if it fulfills that plan, goal, strategy that you want to have. And it's okay if you don't know what it is right off the bat. But if you're not playing the game, you don't have any chance of winning. So you got to get yourself in the game and try and practice doing these things and these strategies that other people have done, because there's so much out there. Like, it's so much easier now to accomplish these things than it used to be because of technology. Everybody's posting their programs. Everybody is giving you ideas. Everybody will let you sign up to be, a mentor for them. It is so much easier, but there's too many people out there that are not putting in the work, unfortunately. But that's something that we should talk about, is it's okay if it's hard. Be okay with that. If you get started in something like, having to only eat certain foods when you're going to go to a party because you went to a party yesterday and that was your cheat day, that's fine. That could be hard, and being hard is okay. Saying no can be hard, and being hard is okay. So be okay with it being hard. And that's really the last thing that I want to leave you with, is that although we have everything set up around us for things to be easier, faster, more accommodating to you, it's okay if things are hard or you have to do them multiple times in order to get the result that you want. So if you set your mindset early on to be okay with things being hard, like if you're gonna go run a marathon or make it to the CrossFit Games, or just, work out 5 days a week, it's okay if it is hard or you have bad days. Let yourself mentally be okay with that. You're gonna get injured if you do any kind of fitness program. It happens. To have unrealistic expectations, like that you're gonna be it's gonna be easy to, make $1 billion or have 100 rental properties or even one rental property. It is an unrealistic expectation. Have the expectation that it's going to be hard, but because it's hard, you're going to learn more from it and you're going to grow. And then those things that are hard, if you do them enough, they become not hard. They become easy. They become normal. And you maybe don't ever want them to become necessarily easy, but they become easier for you. And that's what you want. So when you're going into this holiday season, use these strategies to stay focused. Use the end goal in mind, have the plan. Put yourself around people that you want to be like, that you think are motivational, that'll make it easier. If you can find 5 people that you only hang around that are super in tune with the same goals as you, your life then does become easier, becomes way easier, because it is so much easier to accomplish goals when people that you're hanging around have already achieved those goals. Oh my gosh, it's like so much easier. If you want to make it to the CrossFit Games and you go train with Rich Froning, like several people have, it is so much easier for those people to make it to the CrossFit Games, just because you just fall into step. It's not, you don't have any guessing there. And certain things will work for him and not work for you, but there's these patterns that, as they say, success leaves clues. They're all over the place if you go something like that. And if you can surround yourself with these people that are doing these great things that you want to achieve, there you have it. And that's kind of what I'm trying to do here at this podcast, is I'm trying to take the things that I've been successful with, such as, setting a very strict standard on what I'm going to allow, what I'm not going to allow in these holiday times, so that I can continue achieving my goals. I never have New Year's resolutions because my goals I know what they are already. I'm going to cruise right through the holidays. I'm going to actually make the holidays my way of improving or getting closer to my goals. So that's what I'm doing with this podcast. I'm hopefully being able to be helpful for you, and I'm going to be here for you if you have any questions. So there you have it, guys. I hope you enjoy this. If you like this content that I'm creating, please give me the thumbs up, positive reviews, subscribes, all that fun stuff. I really appreciate it. You can always reach out to me anytime. I, in fact, enjoy it when you reach out to me. So feel free to do that. Remember that if you're looking for an awesome program, if your goals happen to be fitness, body confidence, having a great coach, getting better at movement, knowing how to eat right, having a program that you just follow that is a program for somebody that's been doing it successfully for years, try my program out. Go to thegetbetterproject.com, and there's tons of free signups for 2 weeks all over the site. I would love to have you just get an intake form, sign the waiver, and we get you started. I am putting so much time into that right now. It's such a great program. We have so many people that stay with us for so long that we just need more people like yourself to join us and help make the community even better than it already is. All right, guys. Hope you enjoy this. The All Around Joe podcast, where we optimize your human performance from my personal experience as an athlete, coach, and all-around self-improvement junkie. We'll see you on the next podcast.